As we heard during part 1 and 2, profitability can improve when managing well the 7 levers that we introduced. In this second of 7 discussions, led by Lexington's Katie Dignan and Paul Browne, we explore the relevance of optimizing leverage in law firms, balancing partner-to-associate ratios and resource allocation to drive profitability and efficiency.
So, lever number 3, leverage and a mix of people. All to do with teams, always really difficult because it's very, very easy to be efficient and profitable if it's just you working on your own, but it all gets much more complicated if you're bringing other people into the party. I guess this is all about getting work done at the right level and therefore being able to price it correctly. But what else do you think it's about?
I think absolutely getting the right work down the right level and in the right place, because the top law firms have spent a lot of time looking internationally and saying, can we deliver this more effectively in another country, in a regional location? How can you do that? And so in time when what we've seen, given that we've both seen lots of cycles of law firms, when times get tougher, there can be a tendency for partners and directors to say, I'm going to do this work, I want my billable hours targets to be out, and not to pass it down. There can also be trust issues. Where they say, well, this is not right for the juniors, but continually moving that down so that you get your best and most experienced clients focused on the really creative solutions. And you increasingly move work down so that there's a system where the associates can learn on it, they're doing it to the right level. And the other thing I'd add on that is leverage of equal use of technology. So using a project-based software, using the right systems on that, and increasingly using AI to drive it forward. We're not going to cover AI in detail on this podcast, but one analogy that I've heard is using it like a bright trainee. It's never going to be as good as the top legal brains, but it may give you a great first draft that you can look at, challenge, cross out the bits that don't work, and save you time. So leveraging the people and then themselves using the right technology so that they could focus on the really crucial thing that was solving hard problems as opposed to the routine.
And that technology doesn't have to be complicated. It's a spreadsheet and that will do, for example. And also I like AI and I also hate it at the same time. And I think it's important to maintain that sort of level of agnosticism, if that's a word. But I think if you can use it to check your work, so it's not a question of getting it to write something for you. It's a question of saying, well, I've got to get my point across in this. If you can then put something you've written into AI and ask it to draw out what it thinks are the key points, and if it doesn't draw out your key points that you think are the key ones, then you've got it wrong. You've got to go back and do it again. But it's not about getting it to do it for you. It is, as you say, about saying, summarize this for you. What do you pull out of this? And I think it can be a very powerful tool. But I think from the point of view of profitability, law firms have, large and small, wherever they are, have got to get their heads around using technology because clients expect them to use it. And they are saying, why isn't this cheaper if you're just using technology to do this? And I think we've got to then confront law firms with the business of saying, you need to explain to your clients what you're using technology for and what you aren't using it for, where the brilliant brains are needed, so that they understand the value that's being delivered. Because otherwise, it's going to be a race to the bottom with every client saying, you can just do this on ChatGPT, isn't it?
Absolutely. So it's putting all that together. We've got people do in the right place, in the right location. And as you say, we've got clients who have a simple Excel spreadsheet for the cost per hour of associates, for example, in all their offices. Where do you want this done? Can it be done massively cheaper in, say, a regional center as opposed to a major capital market center?
Or could we outsource it to people who are non-lawyers?
Absolutely. So there's a lot of options there. Technology, the right people, the right place. And do you want to do it in the firm at all?
And I guess then we're not talking just about leverage in the traditional law firm sense of people. We're talking about it across the tools and processes that are available to you as a firm. So it becomes much more business focused rather than people focused.